On today's show, we travel to the national course in Augusta, Georgia to watch the world's finest golfers in action on day 3 of the US Masters. The big boys have been hammering around the Nürburgring ring circuit in the European Truck Grand Prix Series. We take to the waters of Bells Beach in Victoria as surfing's best move a step closer to the world crown. And we'll turn back the clock and look at Herb Elliott, the greatest middle distance runner Australia has ever produced. And talking of records, Hawthorn skipper Michael Tuck grabbed another at VFL Park yesterday. And we take a career close-up of the Hawks captain. All that and a few surprises here on Wide World of Sports Sunday edition. You and Maxie, you get into all that sort of stuff, I know. Good morning, everyone, right around Australia. Welcome to our Sunday edition of Wide World of Sports. Maxie Walker's taken the day off to help Dennis Lilly and the other old-timers try and battle the Poms in a rematch of the Centenary Test over there in Perth. So I've stepped in as the 12th man. Billy Birmingham will shudder. 13th man, as usual, Lou Richards. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning, Darrell, and welcome to the Sunshine State, let me say that.
We've had a lot of liquid sunshine in New South Wales, let me tell you. And so have Queensland, too.
Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed in you, really. I thought you would have put me down a pair of your Okanuis.
Now, Lou, my Okanuis on you would come down to your ankles.
Like the old-time footy shorts, eh?
Stick to those, boy.
Listen, what about bringing me down a pair of shorts, the Okanuis, seriously?
Nice floral or gold lame.
I think I'll go for the gold lame. That'll suit my complexion, don't you think?
Gold lame. OK, well, our next item puts a whole new meaning into the Big Mac. And not the sort you eat, but you thought that you drive. Now, take Europe's most famous racetrack, the Nürburgring, assemble a grid of 500 horsepower monsters, put some crazies behind the wheel, including former Formula 1 driver Hans Stuck, and you've got yourself a truck Grand Prix.
The pace truck has pulled off. They're all in formation, and look at Ralph Bjork. Look at Ralph Bjork nosing himself up there, passing Slim Borgard and trying to get in front of him. But I don't think that Borgard's going to be too keen on that. And here is Richard Walker finding his way up past some slower trucks now, looking for a way through, but there isn't one. There's no space there. Bang! And somebody hits him up the backside as well. But the truck's still going. We've got lots of green field and no track. Oh, there's the track. Well, Richard Walker collected back together again, having had a double impact, one at the front, one at the back. Meanwhile, here's the leader. And this is Kurt Göransson. Ralph Bjork behind him. We've lost Borgard. I think I saw in the background there Heinz Denhardt holding on to third place, but a tremendous battle now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks all comparatively close together, and Kurt Göransson, the man at the head of it, and is going to take an awful lot of catching. Göransson breaks, changes down, brings it round, the long looping hairpin past the pits once again. Bjork behind him. Then it's number 12, Heinz Denhardt, in third place. That flat beat of the engine, and behind him that looks like possibly George Allen has moved up there. And now back to the in-cab race cam unit. And we're looking to see whether Richard Walker can right the wrong of the previous lap and get past this red truck that has been tantalizing him now since the start. This is the one with which he had the impact at the first corner. He pulls out now under the second bridge. And I don't think he's going to make it this time. No, he tucks himself in behind, and you can see loads of tyre smoke and everything else going on in front of him. So perhaps discretion was the better part of valour there, but Walker crawling all over this guy. And gets up alongside, and it's number 45 that he's fighting with, Michel Faculé. Faculé not giving him an inch. Under the other bridge on the far side of the circuit, Walker still looking for a way through. Hasn't yet found one. It's certainly not going to be for want of trying. And after that, of course, there are 4 more trucks there, one of which is on the grass at the moment, just come off it. Walker now pulls out, he's alongside, and looks as if he's disposed of that Frenchman. And that's Andrew Levitt, not the immediate truck in front, but the one in front of that. which is an indication of his progress through the field. And this is really exciting. A driver's eye view of racing 11 is off. Almost loses it in front of Walker, and Walker is through and past him. Andrew Levitt there, lost it in front of Richard Walker. Shot across Walker's bows, but Walker was equal to getting himself back as we look at the leaders here. And that's Goranson. Goranson now with a commanding lead. And we've disposed of Andrew Levitt, and we're on the grass. And we're off it again. We didn't seem to lose any time by it, and Richard doesn't seem to be unduly disturbed by that little agricultural excursion. And he's now having a good close look here to see whether anything can be done about yet another place. But the guy is not going to make it easy. He's staying over on the right-hand side of the road, which of course is exactly what Richard doesn't want him to do. Now he's moved, and under the second bridge, where we've seen him do it before, Richard Walker makes another place, or does he? No, this guy, in fact, outbreaks, goes all over the grass, and comes straight back on. And is missed by Richard Walker and loses his place as a result of that excursion. Back now to two plumes of smoke out of the Q8 truck in the hands of Kurt Goranson with a commanding lead. And now we can see that Goranson is confident enough to show off to the crowd, throwing the truck around. The usual Goranson-type manoeuvres when he's feeling confident and in charge of the situation. If there's nobody to thrill you by racing wheel-to-wheel with him, then he does the job all by himself in lock-to-lock slides, and here is Walker. Race cam once more from Walker's truck as he tries to make more ground now. Two more trucks ahead of him. I think that's Willie Green, about 3 trucks ahead at the moment. The third of these trucks, all of whom are coming out wide onto the rumble strip there, past the pits. You can see these huge crowded stands. We've had estimates of 150,000 people here at the Nürburgring over the 2 days of this track meeting. And I, for one, wouldn't doubt that, because there has been an enormous amount of interest and pleasure derived from thousands of children as well as adults. Truck racing at its very best here in Germany, and in superb weather too. The Eiffel weather has been kind to us. And Richard Walker is being kind to us too. He's closing the gap, and we should have another passing manoeuvre. Or should we? No. Richard Walker's engine has stopped. Richard Walker has pulled off. This is the longer loop that we have for the saloon cars here on the new Nürburgring. And Richard Walker has turned it round through 180 degrees. And I heard him say there that it had seized, and he wasn't too pleased about it. And so off comes his crash hat, but still with his crash hat on. Kurt Goranson dominating this race now. The latter stages here then of the final at the Nürburgring, and totally sideways under a superb power slide. Goranson it is who's very much in charge, as out comes the checkered flag for Kurt Goranson to win here at the Nürburgring. Ralph Bjork finishes in second place. Heinz Denhardt in third place. That is George Allen finishing in fourth place, and a fine drive too. And the only other man you'll see playing to the crowd like this is Hans Stuck, because Goranson in lock-to-lock slides goes round the circuit, throwing this big truck around as only he can. The big Volvo being played with like a go-kart in the hands of Kurt Goranson. The victor at Nürburgring from Ralph Bjork, Heinz Denhardt, George Allen, Gaudenzio Mantova and Gerard Cunet with the Ford Cargo in sixth place.
How about that Hand Stuck taking those turns? He did 3 mighty sweeps, didn't he? But I reckon James Bond must be out there with all those smoke screens, Darrell.
How I used to drive a Formula 1 car the same way.
Yeah.
Louis, thanks for picking me up at the airport last night. Let me tell you, you would do well in one of those races.
Well, I took you the short way back to Channel 9. I took him through Frankston. Coming up shortly, we'll bring you up to date in sport.
Welcome back. Nice to have your company all around Australia, wherever you may be, here on a Sunday morning. Now, we'll be keeping you up to date with all the news here and abroad. The lady who'll be at the controls, Anne-Maree Sparkman, and she does put a little spark in Lou's eye too. Good morning, Anne-Maree. What's doing around the world in Australia?
Morning, Darrell. Welcome to Melbourne, by the way.
Thank you.
We're going to start with a look at the US Masters in Augusta, Georgia, where big reputations are being humbled by that feared course. Scotland's Sandy Lyle goes into tomorrow's final round with a two-stroke lead over Ben Crenshaw and Mark Calcavecchia. Australia's Greg Norman's back at 5 over. Roger Davis is 4 over. It was a day in which the big names had the sort of moments they'd rather forget. Leader Lyle duffing this putt at 16. And how about two-time champion Tom Watson, 3 putts and a triple bogey at the same hole?
That was for bogey, and this was for double bogey.
He is not in yet.
Plain and simply, disaster has struck Watson at 16. He came to this hole 2 under following the birdie at 15, missed the green right, chipped up within 6 feet, missed the 6-footer.
It's a tough game, golf. We'll have a full coverage of today's round a little later in the show. And at Clermont-Ferrand, the Aussies have been bundled out of the Davis Cup after French doubles pair Yannick Noah and Guy Forget downed our boys Wally Masur and John Fitzgerald in straight sets. The score there, 6-3, 7-5, 6-4. The French doubles team made it a 3-love whitewash, with the Australian team obviously missing the class of Pat Cash. Fitzgerald and Masur did keep trying.
Brilliant interception by John Fitzgerald. He really has volleyed well at the net. Well, very low percentage shot there by John Fitzgerald.
But the French duo, with a home crowd behind them, were far too good. France will now play either Switzerland or Czechoslovakia in their semi-final. In England, the Grand National has been won by Rhyme and Reason in one of the closest finishes there in years. The 10-1 chance stormed home by 4 lengths. A woman jockey, G Armitage, led the field for part of the race, but was forced to pull up 5 fences from home.
Just for a moment, G Armitage saw her chance to make history. Bidding to become the first woman to win the National, she was out in front and going well. But she pulled up, leaving Durham Edition and Rhyme and Reason to battle it out. At the second last, Durham Edition in light blue leapt into the lead. He pulled away and looked like a certain winner. But the final furlong produced an extraordinary turnaround. Rhyme and Reason, driven on by Brendan Powell, came back on level terms, then strode clear to win by 4 lengths. It was a marked change in fortune for the winning jockey. Last year, Brendan Powell broke his arm falling at the 3rd, and earlier this week his car was stolen. Afterwards, Rhyme and Reason's owner, Juliette Reed, admitted she had to be persuaded by the trainer to let her horse run.
And next weekend, Sydney Harbour will explode with the colour and frenzy